Sup y'all, it's me, your bibliotech nerd, and today I'm going to be looking at DC's Batman Hush. Quick summary on the first 3 chapters, and then a little opinion piece at the very end. So, starting off with Chapter 1, The Ransom. We start off in the middle of Batman looking for a kid that has been kidnapped for his family's wealth. The usual good detective work, and the silent takedown of the goons guarding the kid. After saving him, the scene explodes into a flurry of sinewed muscle, sharpened claws, and pointy teeth as Killer Croc pounces on Batman, an epic scene ending with the bat on top. With the money case gone, the story follows Batman's chase of Catwoman across the city, ending with his dramatic rooftop fall and her rendezvous with Poison Ivy. Chapter 2, The Friend. With Batman surrounded by some street thugs, a kick-ass huntress comes in to save the day and puts a beatdown with a pole staff in hand, while a mysterious figure watches the scene from above. Bit of mystery for the reader there, it's pretty good. A blast from the past is given to the reader thanks to Thomas Elliot, a childhood friend of Bruce before his parents had been murdered in the alley so long ago. Quite a rare glimpse before the whole thing happened, you know. With Bruce somewhat healed, it's not long before he's already out again to interrogate the now locked up Killer Croc. Although, it doesn't take long though for Croc to break out of his prison cell and lock in combat with the Bat. Chapter 3, The Beast. This time though, it seems that Killer Croc has the edge on Batman, able to escape and once again bring the chase back into Gotham City. After another flashback, the chase leads the Bat into Ivy's garden, where he's in the nick of time to help Catwoman from a nasty bite. A spicy kiss between the Bat and the cat ends the night. The next part of the journey will take us to the city of Metropolis, where things will really kick off and we will get to see some Boy Scout action. But this summaries will be over for now, and I'll let the next 3 chapters for next time. So, now on to the opinion piece. I'm going to start with the mystery element. Every good book kind of needs a mystery. Well, not every good book, but you know what I mean. Mystery is just kind of one of those universal things that people really get hooked by. You want to know what's coming up next. You want to know what the object is. Who is that? What are they doing? Etc, etc. The fact that we're kind of halfway through a story, I guess, and we don't know why the kid really got kidnapped. Why is Killer Croc doing it? It's, out of character. Catwoman's out of character, but we find out that, Ivy's behind that. And of course, the bandage boy up on top with his binoculars and his little ninja stars further enhances the kind of mystery aspect that really brings in the reader, I suppose. So the mystery aspect gets a thumbs up from me. I've got to. Now the next point that I have here is decent action. I know that doesn't really sound that great, but there are some pretty cool fight scenes. Killer Croc is pretty epic in this whole bish bash. Give it a left, give it a right, and it really looks good. I know it's kind of hard to describe the action, but if you do get a chance to look at it, it is quite epic. Everything's kind of well laid out, I guess. I'm not really sure the terms, but it's pretty decent, so that gives another thumbs up from me. Now, good character development for Batman and a further look at his relationship with Catwoman. The whole flashback, which is going to be quite a prominent thing in the Hush series, is... I need another verb, but you know what I mean. It's good. If that works, it's good. All the times you get to look back and, Bruce is all about his parents dying, but you don't really get to see what happens beforehand, so it's kind of nice to get a bit more history of him. You see him before the whole tragic incident. Now, the spicy, absolutely roasting kiss that between Batman and Catwoman is quite important to the story, but you don't really realize it until, of course, the next 3 chapters, which we'll look at like in a later video. But it kind of sets up the whole story, gives a bit more depth to Batman. He has someone to care about. It's not just him by himself. Of course, we have the whole Bat family and stuff, but on this comic book alone, it's just him and Catwoman. So yeah, I give that a thumbs up. It's really good. The next point that I want to talk about might be a bit more contentious, I guess, if that's the word to properly use. I like the art, but I'm not the biggest fan of Killer Croc's head. I'm going to try and put a picture right now in the video, and to be honest, it just reminds me too much of a symbiote. The symbiote, the ones from Marvel, related to Venom and stuff. And if it's up on the video, this one specifically, Carnage. I think I don't know, the way he draws Killer Croc in this, it kind of, it feels like the flesh is too alive and moving like a symbiote. So yeah, I'm gonna put the artist's credits in the box below, whatever it's called, the description, so you can actually see the symbiote if I can actually put it in the video. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just, I'm not the biggest fan of Killer Croc, and maybe now and again the color choice isn't to my liking, but that's just more of my personal opinion on the way the different shades kind of work. Now, keeping up with the art style, this is more kind of like to do with graphic novels, the kind of the hardbacks and not the paperbacks or the soft copies. If you look at some of the stuff for a hardback, some of the art is spread over 2 pages, and because of the whole spine of the book, it's kind of difficult to spread it and properly see every detail. It kind of ruins some of the 2 spreads. So there is an upside for having soft copies and the single issue paperbacks. You can definitely see the art better. Preferably, I enjoy the hardcovers, but it does kind of sometimes ruin the art part. So yeah, but that's more of my kind of gripe with the whole hardcover things. Now, the last point that I want to bring up is how Batman was being hurt and injured. It was so good to see him being, well, not really being thrown, but falling down the building. His little, I don't know, rope, grapple hook, man, stuff are just escaping my mind. So the grapple hook being cut is probably the best part of this whole comic right now, for the first 3 chapters anyway. It's just that most of the time Batman is kind of deified, so it adds a bit more depth to finally see him a bit injured. It is nearly death for him. If the Huntress never popped in, the guy could have probably shot him. He would have been dead, and then Batman's story is just gone. So it kind of makes it more real, gives it more of something that we can relate to. The mysterious Batman, invincible to an extent, but he can be injured. So I don't know, for me personally, that was just a highlight of the book. You don't always want to see the heroes being invincible, unstoppable, winning the day. Sometimes them losing has a better impact than if they won. It tells a better story, a moral, or just kind of shows us a more realistic, a more emotional side of the hero. I would say that probably one of the best scenes in kind of movies in general is when Alfred in The Dark Knight Rises, I believe, the one with Bane, where he's on his own after the funeral and just bawling. His eyes are just gushing, and he's giving his speech. He failed Batman. The the heartstrings that scene kind of pulled on, I say, was far more effective for the movie than simply if Batman had succeeded pre final battle, etc., etc. So yeah, in conclusion, I guess Batman being hurt was just a really good picture, in a sense, if it makes sense. It's better than him easily catching up to Catwoman, taking the money, and then off to prison you go, Poison Ivy, etc. You know what I mean? So, in conclusion, the first 3 chapters are pretty good. I've already done the next 3, and I'll try and put up the video as soon as possible. But I had a blast. Let me know what you think about this. Give me some tips. Do you disagree? Do you agree? Just have a little conversation about a few comic books there, you know what I mean? And I also got a Detective Comics that was kind of attached to the back of the Hush novel. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully I'll release that straight after the part 2 with the next 3 chapters. Then I'll do Detective Comics, and then hopefully by next weekend I can do, the second part of the whole Hush and give my final thoughts on that. So I guess like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter or Instagram. I'll link them below so you can see when I next post, and hopefully I'll see you then.